I've got the yeah. So the deployment. Oh, here we are. We're live at San Michael website. One, just cleaning up a little bit of a checking if we can deploy a Rails project to Dree, like a non-trivial one. We seem to have. I should have done it. Just equally have done it with the website one, but the yeah, the critical thing, the thing that we might first move would be local support because you know, they were potentially offering us free SSL stuff, which is what we currently pay. What's it called? The Heroku got a lot for.
Yeah.
But so just going to the come here, yeah, going to the endpoint at the moment, we just get this. It's like it's not even like giving us a request. The logs are not showing us something so wonderfully
Penny.
helpful at the moment. But this is the logs
So
from.
how do you like attach like a
How do I do what? Sorry.
like how do you like load up a database?
Well, I think what I have to do now is like I basically need to go to Elephant SQL and create a database for it to use, and then sort of specify the URI and
Okay.
dun, 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 dun. Yeah, and so I can create like a new instance here, name, and we could call this like local support data center.
So we would have to basically be billed through them too for the database, right?
Yes, although the initial instance would be free. It doesn't let us go into. Oh, there's a US to Ireland. That'll do. Yes, so there's potentially. I'm you know, I'm reaching out to. I do have an ongoing discussion with MLab about getting sponsorship from them to support MLab things, and I will ultimately. I would hope to do similar with Elephant SQL. We will take, you know, one step at a time. So I get here a URL that in principle that I can use. Do I have to also create users and password? Okay, then this is giving me the user and the password there in the URL. So I guess the question is for like Heroku also has this setup where I mean they just have like a database URL
Right.
kind of managed. And I guess what I'm unclear about is how the what's the word? Like we've got if I look at the settings for the what is it? What is this called? This is called the develop instance for local support. It it's got like a database URL, and then it's also got this thing like Heroku Postgre green URL, and they both point at the same, you know, just Postgre thing. And in principle, I guess it's just going to the database URL. I don't know if that's something about the build pack or something about the way we have local support set up. Do we have something database URL? We don't have database URL there. I guess is there something like is there a Heroku, like what if we look at the database YAML here? Docker things in there as well now, good grief. I don't know what allows Heroku to know to talk to the right database.
Hmm.
I guess unless we've got something in the like the production environment. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could be the case that just by setting database URL and pointing it to this instance, it could it'll just work. I don't know if it would be nice to know why it works. The other interesting thing here that I noticed with the Dree setup is because the database is then provided by a third party, in principle, you can have your local thing talking to exactly the same database as your remote thing. And so you can kind of run, I have done it with them where I've just run rate db migrate locally with the app, and it's migrated the remote database, and that's the one that's then also being used by I forgot what it's called now, Dree. But so I'm just gonna, I guess it's the right thing. I'm gonna set the database URL on this. I wonder if I can set. I mean, I guess I'm sort of. It's interesting that there's maybe I can set separate environment variables for different branches. I'm just not doing it yet at the moment. And then I'm not sure what the mechanism is to then restart it. If I try and do another push, because everything is up to date, 3 people are just coming back to me and saying, what are they saying?
Saying that you're seeing the same thing as me, that it never connects.
Yes, and you told me yes. Well done. Good that you're in there. The odd if we can't separate environment variables to different branches. Different branches. So that Tommy, we're just working on hooking up a database. And in principle, what I can do now is, having set that, let's clear that out so I don't share the, need like a security audit team for ourselves as well. In principle, then, see, if I go up through the history, I end up. Well, I should be able to. I SSH into the box and be on the develop branch like this. And then in principle, I can run rake db migrate here.
Yep.
DB. And it might, okay, there you go. It's migrating the database.
It is interesting.
Yeah. We're just migrating. I mean, I guess the interesting thing, and that migrate there. I mean, there's a single database there. I guess I wonder if we're forced into a production environment here, which, I mean, the interesting setup with this is, in principle, I will like, before using Heroku, like back in the day in Hawaii, and I was managing various Rails servers, we always used to like actually run the test suite on the server, right? We have a separate database, but in order to make sure that everything worked, we would, like, and all the right things were installed on the server and what have you, we would run the test suites on the server. And it was an adjustment for me to come to Heroku, and I was like, well, I want to run, I know the CI has passed, but I want to know that the tests run on that machine in the cloud. And they were like, no, you just don't do that. And so now for several years, I haven't done that. And it hasn't been a problem as far as I can tell. But I guess in principle, we could run the tests here on the thing.
Yeah, because you're SSH'd in, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I guess I could have tried to. Tommy's saying other stuff. Anyway, so we've created the thing. They also said that they told me that they kind of, there was like the async voter folks were saying, oh, this is going to sleep really quickly. Apparently they did actually have a bug in their script, which was that when you hit it, it wasn't causing it to restart for 30 seconds. It was like, basically, if you hit it like 29 seconds ago, the thing would like wake up. And if you hit the endpoint again, just before it was about to go to sleep, it wouldn't stay alive for another 30 seconds. It would still go to sleep at that, 1 second after you hit it. So it was potentially kind of, yeah. But so now, okay, so like, we just migrated DB. apparently successfully. I guess, but have you got any ideas about like how does our Heroku app know to go to this, database URL?
Because we installed Postgre. We told Heroku to install the Postgre plugin.
Right. But so like when
Arranged for that to exist somehow.
yeah, but so like I mean,
And then if we look
it's-
YAML, right? Go on.
well, I was just going to say, like, as far as I know, Heroku's still using this database.yaml talk to production, and what we've got here, that when we run locally, it's doing the same stuff as the development database,
Right, but it's not.
and we've got
ampersand dev ampersand whatever. What does that do?
go away that thing. So here, using the ampersand, I think this is just naming it. Although I'm not sure, ampersand over.
There's no reference to a URL, right?
No, we don't have any reference to a URL in here.
How does Rails know the URL?
Right. I mean, I wonder if there's. What do we have in here? API. I mean, because there was this. I mean, I guess we've got. What I guess I should also. So here, I mean, can I? I wonder if I can like just sensibly, like if I'm here rather than doing the logs thing. There's no. I wonder if I can like just here, go into here, and I can do tail minus 1500 production log. Oops. I forget what is it? Is this the Heroku one?
Heroku injected its own database.yaml file prior to Rails 4.1, according to Heroku docs. That would read from the environment database URL hash. So with Rails 4.1 now and beyond,
Rails.
if you have an environment database URL set on your system, it will now be used as canonical connection information, regardless of what Rails environment, env environment you're running in.
Okay. And so how does the app know to do that, or is Heroku kind of reaching in and saying just because this is what I was thinking before?
This is now part of Rails.
The Rails 12 factor.
No.
Heroku integration
Part of Rails behavior.
To enable features such as static asset caching and logging on Heroku, please add the Rails 12 factor gem to your gem file.
That's different.
Okay.
Look at this link.
What are you looking at?
That was when we went from Rails 3 to 4.
Uh-huh.
Like there's.
Have you sent me something in Slack?
Yes, in the website one channel.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. So that seems to imply that if you've got database URL set, so that almost seems to imply that that's part of Rails.
It is. That's what they're saying.
Right. So Rails will. Okay. So there's some that seems to imply if you have both the database YAML and a database URL. Yeah. Okay, and I think they want here. So I've got it. So it's interesting that I've got there's a production.log file which has nothing in it in the app.
So Heroku runs a Postgres server on a different machine, so it would not work if your app tried to connect to localhost with a blank password. We have to deploy. Right.
This guy do. Well, interesting. It's going to give you the that does. Now, did you see that? Like, I did the same thing in here. Like, what is it? SH develop, local support, develop, push app. There, doing that in a different window here. That's the. Is that the same? That's the same. No, that's the exact same command in a different window. Oh, it's log rather than logs. No, I got permission denied. Public key. No, and then that suddenly worked there. Oh, there's a dot app there. Okay, that's what it is. Okay. I guess I'm going to share with. No. Tommy, what we can see in logs is. I noticed there is an empty production log / production.log in the system. I mean, it seems like there's various things that's it's like what is it, the bloody air brake tracker and so on. I mean, there's all sorts of things that could be causing the error that we could be experimenting with. I guess what I don't like is this. I mean, well, Tommy's saying that the logging is kind of ghetto. I feel like rather than just okay, let's keep hitting things and see if it works. If we're not getting sensible error messages, then that's kind of a bit of a blocker to, moving over to the system. He's asking, environments per branch is definitely a must, but there's a catch. When you create a new branch and he gets an override routine, which branch is originated from? Which branch environment do new branches use? Is there a default global M that can be overridden? I would say, like I just said to Tommy, I think new branches should have a blank M by default for starters. A default env is another feature. What's it called? Heroku supports that with app.json files for their automated PR deploys. Okay. So I think we've definitely got started on that. We could probably put it to one side for the moment. So I feel like the thing to do there, probably to look at the waffle board for website 1. So, and also any open pull requests. So Ed was just telling me that he's done some. Got his build failing. What is he doing? He's just changed the gem. He's got some other gem that allows it to be cleaned up.
Mm-hmm.
This is now, but sort of the gem file is not out of date. It's kind of asking me to do that, and I want something in here and saying, yeah, I've got to tell him, Ed, no, wrong one. Please run bundled install and update your gem file, lock, and commit. Okay, we have that. Stash has been detained with a tech test. Well, okay, so progress. Our premium membership epic continues. We've got. I was just having a message from Corey, who I was following up with. And I guess he is also. Oh, yeah, he's saying that. I mean, if there's anything I can do to help, anything. Okay. So, yep, and yes, they've got Matt's just working on that thing to start with. That's good. Okay, so the in progress thing looks good. I did actually update. I updated some more of the documentation today on the contributing MD. In particular, and this is sort of related to stuff that Ashley's been talking about. I feel like there's this kind of appropriate set of steps, like of what you need to do to get. It's like after just getting it working, is like if you're interested in getting involved in a project, first you should like review any open PR and look for and just try and understand, the way in which people are submitting code and how it's being reviewed, and then go to the project board. And so these are like, so the first thing you should do is like look through the ready stuff. So so this is actually the one that Ed is working on there, but he hasn't connected it up, and I think Raoul was just telling him to do so. Boom, 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 boom. Just remember something personal. Just lost my voice. Okay. Then we've got this thing here, which is for consistency. Feels like that's a relatively straightforward thing potentially. It's another migration, isn't it, for the karma thing?
Oh, add other karma breakdown elements to karma table.
Yeah. So I think we have like the karma calculator calculates all these things on the fly, and the one new element that we added or whatever ends up, we now store it in the database, so it's not calculated on the fly. And then we now have a karma model. So yeah. So I mean, that's kind of like a tidy up thing. That random failure, I mean, that's maybe memory issues and stuff. Who knows? I would love to have a countdown on the events pages. And that we've voted on a couple of things relating to the project recently. I mean, the thing I'm feeling inspired to work on at the moment is this thing that we have here, where we're kind of identifying different elements of the funnel here, and it feels like, I think particularly if they actually sign up, like this thing, like changing that thing from, rather than just saying, oh, please fill out your profile, to prompting them to join Slack and directing them as to how to participate, then I think that might be helpful. Tommy is now pinging us. Okay. Yes, I'm doing the proxy. Okay. But then so, gosh. Yeah, Ashley's talking through all of this long stuff about breaking down into the class of different people, which is a standard sensible thing to do. I think in my mind there's just the people who are wanting to get involved is a kind of a, but I guess we made it. And then so she wants to do collecting feedback, and then she's also done these 2 pull requests. Oh, with a diagram. Goodness me. With lots of stuff. Is this a pull request with a conversation with files, like a strategy blueprint? Goodness me. Looks very nice. Goodness me. That's 1 pull request, work in present, and then we've got create a FAQ, which would be a good thing to have. Are you feeling inspired to work on anything in particular?
Not in particular, but
we did manage. Oh, go on. I guess in terms of cleaning up, there's also that like we've managed to reduce the length of the ready column. I'm just gonna put everything on this one because it's not in the ready column anymore.
It's in the progress column, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm going to close this one and say this is like, not replicated recently. So I will close. Annoying to me that I can't close it from here. I guess I can close it from here, but the mechanism to do so is to stick it into the done column. There we go. And then already it's looking more healthy. So I thought I just asked that to be Ed.
So how does Marion was wondering
Go on.
a week or 2 ago, like I just told her we could do anything in the estimated already, but we kind of ended up doing something in the ready.
Okay.
What's the difference? Like
the difference is
something from the estimated get into the ready.
It's a prioritization issue. So we could have created estimated because we were going through that process of like
just estimating everything
independently of whether it was important or not, just to get them off the backlog and give them some estimation. And I guess there's an idea is that like in general prefer things that are on the ready. But of course it comes down to like, if you don't like anything on the ready, then choose something from the estimated. But it's our mechanism for
right.
Yeah. So the other thing I'm thinking is that agile bot. What do we do? The thing
we're estimating everything that seems vaguely reasonable.
Yes, but even if they're it's sort of a triage thing. Even if they're kind of like, well, this is probably a priority. Let's at least show the person who added it to the backlog that we are kind of responding to it.
Right.
I tried to deploy that. I guess in terms of cleaning things up, I tried to deploy that agile bot thing onto staging, and it felt to me like it didn't work. Maybe because I think the change that we made.
Okay. I mean, I don't.
Like, in order to probably close that out, we should
work on that.
We should at least. I think it might be really quick. Let's go with that one. Staging. So the thing that we had changed on staging, so I know the incomplete profile. I mean, this has actually, it looks quite nice. I mean, what I guess we want to identify. We could be doing the incomplete profile. We could be saying, oh, by the way, you haven't participated in any scrums yet. You should try out a scrum, kind of thing. Those things could be coming in, couldn't they? So what it was that we wanted to be happening, if we opened a new Hangout on Air, I can't do that. This one kind of have to go into Chrome, don't I? I mean, not in Chrome, Firefox. We're going to tell my son to put rice on. Then that has to, no, got to log in. I wonder if Firefox 50 will work. Continue using the site. Start Hangout on Air. So this is creating a 169 Hangout.
Yeah, I mean, we could basically say, like, if someone's authenticated through Google Plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they haven't attended the Scrum in, say, 2 weeks, just as like an arbitrary number.
Right.
It could pop up and say, you haven't attended the Scrum recently.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you check out this list of upcoming Scrums? And
Yeah.
then a link to a Scrum that basically, I don't know if we have a view that just shows the Scrums.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we do.
We can generate that, right?
Yeah, we totally can. What was I going to say there? I think in some ways, what I would love to be doing is to be able to tell if it would be nice if we could almost support. Excuse me. It would be nice if we could support, like in the same way that we have what's it called, Google Auth and GitHub Auth. It would be great if we could support what's it called? Like Slack Auth, and so we could connect up, the Slack activity, and like if someone didn't have a Slack account, we could say, hey, really all the activities going on in Slack, you should check out this. You know what I mean?
Right. So we could, yeah, I know that. Well, I was just thinking about with the Scrum thing.
Yeah.
And we could maybe have a task that runs every day and calculates when the last time a person was in Scrum. And then says, oh, you... And also, we'd probably not want to prompt them every time they sign in.
No. We should do it in a balanced.
Have some Boolean or something that says, oh, we prompted them within the last so many weeks.
Yes, indeed. Well, and the ideal thing would be if we could actually track and see, oh, yes, actually they went to them. Yeah, and then it would be like, we might prompt them once a month to say, oh, about, if they log in. But yeah, so what I'm seeing here is that, so we've got this connection service is working. I actually now can't see the Agile Ventures mentors thing. Can you see the Agile Ventures mentors thing? And whether this is, so I've started a CS169 Hangout from the staging server. And, it's connected back to staging as far as I can tell.
Where should it hit?
Well, I think...
I don't think I've seen anything come through to any of it.
No. So I'm not seeing anything on Gitter where it should in principle hit. I think the problem might be that if we go to Agile Bot, do I have, let's open it in here, open recent Agile Bot, is in our testing environment, do we specify, or staging more importantly in this case, like so, we've got like a CS169 room, but this probably doesn't correspond to anything on the Agile Ventures now mentors system. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I mean, what we're hoping to happen when this system goes through is we're hoping that it will, and I can get the latest code for Agile Bot. Come here, Agile Bot. Control C, git pull origins.
I thought we had this like set up with the rooms and everything.
I think we do, but for the Slack stuff, but not for the CS169. So,
and the feature that we're pushing out right now is about hitting the CS169 room, right?
right, exactly. So, so I think that may not necessarily be hooked up. Like if we look at production, so CS169 is this room, and we've got like I guess.
And what is it on staging?
And
I mean, what's it listed on staging as?
So it's a different. Oh no, maybe there is a room. I mean, I guess we could be looking at the Agile Ventures mentors thing to look at what room that corresponds to. Because what we should be seeing.
How would I do that?
There's that. If we use the Slack API tester thing, so we can kind of go in here, and then there's a tester, and if we view a method for channels list. Like so, tester, then is that right? So that's mentors. So I can still see those things there, and then we test the method. Annoyingly, that ends up showing the token that I don't. Anyway, but so within here, I want to find CS169. Oh, actually, no. It looks like we do have. Oh, hi, it's John. How's it going?
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. It's bad. We're just trying to, play with the Slack API and stuff.
Okay, it's been a long. I've joined Andy Scrums on Agile Ventures.
Yeah.
So I saw a live hangout and thought to join.
Yeah,
this.
you are. You're in. That Michael and I are just working on website 1, and it's sort of microservices architecture. Go on, Michael.
So the C2.
Yeah. But so are you in this channel in the Agile Ventures Mentors environment?
No.
Do you want to join CS169_test and see if there are any messages there? While you do that, I just got to tell my son to do something.
Hi, Sam. What are you trying to do here?
Hey there, Michael. Did you manage to get into that room?
Yes, I got into that room.
And is there any history of anything in that room?
Just that you and I joined.
Oh, okay. So that seems like that's not working then.
So we're trying to basically debug an issue with the deploying the bot, the ping Slack about Hangout notifications. We made some changes last week, and we're trying to test them in the staging environment before we unleash them on.
And I think I can see it. We've got this free app running time quota exhausted for the staging bot.
Okay.
So I think I may, like, in order for...
We can upgrade it temporarily.
Yeah. I'm going to move AgileBot staging into my NeuroGrid system.
Unfortunately, I don't think anyone besides you control over the NeuroGrid stuff.
No, I think you do. I think we have both Thomas and Raoul, the team admins on NeuroGrid.
Okay.
I think you're down as a member at the moment.
Right.
And I'm going to move all of. I'm about to, now we've got the Agile Ventures bank account. once that's had some money in it, I'm gonna adjust the Agile Ventures charity to be pointing at that, and then everything, and just I will be sorting it all out. Okay, so so that's been moved. So in principle, and that looks like it's probably already restarted. So I've got this hangout again. I could try notifying on Slack there. Aha. Okay.
I didn't see anything.
Well, so on Gitter, I got a test thing come through. So that was the original functionality that we kind of always had, which was that CS169 Hangouts would get posted to Gitter.
Right, but I didn't see anything come.
You didn't see them coming in the right. So that's then
the thing that we're actually
the new functionality that we were hoping. So it's hitting the endpoint to do the Hangout notify, and the code path that it should be kind of going through is now in here. So we would hope that it would. So it's going to send the Gitter message, and then now, independently of the thing, it should send it to the room. So we are hoping that it would find, because the project is what, CS169, we are hoping on the staging server that it would find this and it would try and post to this room. I guess the other thing that might be wrong, he said, anticipating, is that the same reason that the Agile bot was not working for the main site is because I regenerated the token, although I haven't regenerated the token for Agile Ventures mentors, I don't think, but that's kind of something that can also go out of date. So we've got a Slack API token there. I noticed that they've made the Slack API tokens much longer and bigger recently. And I wonder there if, gone.
Nothing.
That an update of that will be a sensible thing. So I've got, what I may just do here is reissue a token for Agile Ventures mentors. Agile Ventures mentors. So I've got a new token there for. I'll press confirm. I've got a new token for Agile Ventures mentors, and I'm going to stick that in as the Slack API. Now that doesn't seem to have changed. That's strange. There's Agile Ventures mentors. Okay, yeah, well, a new one, new longer one in place. So that's AgileBot staging. Now, following the same pattern, that would mean that I need to update the staging environments. So website 1's staging environment
with the
same token as well, yeah. Which is what I forgot to do with Friday on the main site.
Reset it. You have to restart these apps on Heroku.
Yeah, although I have a feeling now that, I did restart that one there. I have a feeling that they now, when you change in anything, that it automatically restarts, but I might be wrong. Now, interesting, I'm not seeing a Slack. No, actually, so the Slack token, there isn't one on the website 1 staging, because that's for doing Slack invites.
Okay. And
so we actually don't have that set up. So there I could come back to the Firefox and we can do notify on Slack. And we lost. Oh, did Alex just say goodbye there in the chat?
No, I just dropped out. But,
oh, yeah. Sometimes there's no connections.
So,
go on.
Yeah, I mean, with our bot right now, we have no actual authentication or anything that knows that we're actually that website 1 itself is actually communicating with it.
No, we don't.
Kind of like anyone could actually just hit that endpoint.
In principle, if they know all the bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing now is, having changed that, but now nothing is working now. So I'm going back to AgileBot staging, which is live. I'm going to go in the settings, config environments, whobot Slack token. Okay, there's a whobot token and there's a Slack API token. Okay, yeah, the Slack API token I have updated to talk to, right, but I can't see Agile Ventures mentors. I guess I get a. I was expecting to see, like, I've got Gitter running here. So previously, before I changed the token, it hit here. I would have thought here I could now do notify on Slack again, and it might do. I presume you're seeing nothing in Agile Ventures mentors.
Let me look. Nope.
No. I'm seeing if I actually see Agile Ventures. I can actually see Agile Ventures mentors through the web interface, so that's good. Yeah, and I'm in CS169 test. We've got nothing in there. Nothing about our microservices. This is coming in and posting. I guess in principle I can see in the AgileBot staging resources we have roll bar where it might tell me something about errors. Like, now the interesting thing here is that the roll bar thing here is it comes in and it's like, rather than being hooked up, I guess we haven't got the roll bar access token for staging set. Do we have a roll bar access token? Do we have some mechanism for that being managed in here?
We do. I mean, we have a roll bar access token on bot staging.
So we're going to talk to me here about a server-side access token and an AgileBot.
I think there is a roll bar.
Yeah, there is an access token. Yeah, set here that looks like it's the right one.
Set in staging, but I think in the source code of the bot they use a roll bar.
Yeah. No, it looks like, I mean, according to this, the like roll bar is saying notify us that, oh, trial over, your free trial has ended and you've been downgraded to the free plan. Okay, that's fine. And then I click that link and it gives me an error. Yeah, I don't know, like the roll bar interface in the main.
So what leads you to this? Are you seeing an error or something? What?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just like, the thing is failing, and I just thought, oh, it would be nice to see
An error, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, if we look at the log, right, we're seeing that. So when I go to the Firefox thing here, get that out of the way and make that smaller. So if I do notify on Slack there, like, we can see that it hits the bot.
Right.
And now, since I just updated the Slack token, that hasn't made any difference. And we also seem to now not be getting the getter messages as well.
Right.
And as usual, this is sort of I mean, it ends up feeling like, right, in order to debug it, we have to kind of insert, you know, comments into the code here to work out like where it's getting to.
Yeah.
And that just feels wrong.
I mean, we could just I don't know. I mean, we think that the room's not being found, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it almost seems like it would be sensible to have a series of general logging statements in here that tell us what is like we have to debug it frequently enough so that this is like we're like sending pp event to getter and then plus. But so it's interesting here. So the room, it's interesting here. So it's asking room channels CS169.
No, it's sending it to getter.
Yeah, which it does first, and then we're sending it to Slack here.
So channels.cs169, right, is a code, right?
Yeah, I mean we've kind of loaded the channels and getter rooms here.
Right, but hold on.
I mean, the funny thing there is,
so channels.cs169.
yeah, I think what actually happens is this send getter message avoid repeats actually ignores the incoming channel, and it's hard coded to shoot to the getter room sourcebook MOOC.
Right. Okay.
So it kind of, I mean,
it hard codes it and doesn't count.
Yeah, it hard codes it to that.
So it'd be nice to see what room it thinks it's.
Yeah. I mean, that was working a moment ago.
Which would imply that the room was channel.cs169.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is that channel that's set in there, is that actually the right channel?
Mm.
We think that that's pointing to premium, right? Or mentors.
Mentors, yes.
Staging is pointing towards mentors, right?
Yes, that's the
Have we actually verified that the channel ID is correct?
yes, that was. I looked at the channel ID and it seemed to be correspond to what CS169 should be. And
my other question,
yes,
is what's going. Well, we haven't gotten any messages
in Slack at all
in the mentors since you changed.
Two mentors. Although I have just updated the token. I mean, we could start.
Since you changed the thing and you can't even sign in, so I'm wondering.
Well, I can sign in through the web thing, so I can see the web one.
You can sign in.
Yeah, I'm just not in my desktop. But so
for a second there, I was wondering, is this really still in existence, like this room?
Yeah, I mean, it might
there
be.
It goes. There it goes.
Oh, did that work?
Yes.
I think that maybe the I did tell it to restart all the dynos, but maybe the environment variable had just not been read in correctly. Okay, so did we get
CS169, 10 socketbot, and a link?
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so that's it. That's the thing it's supposed to do, and we can also potentially look at the staging log here. So, and it's saying it's sending the PPT event to Gitter and to Slack. That's the. I mean, it just feels like almost we should leave these things in here for the log for future reference. But what's interesting there is it's not giving us any update to Gitter.
Mm-hmm.
So it said it was sending a PP event to Gitter, but then it didn't. And maybe that's just a Gitter brownout. We've got avoid repeats.
Correct.
Right. So it's just it's squashing us because it thinks we're just sending the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
that was an issue with Gitter, right?
Yeah, because we were just like people who would start the same hangout like 8 times or repost it and press the Slack thing and they or whatever. Yes, I mean, okay. So that actually then is a manual test in staging of us thinking that works. This is deeply disturbed by it doesn't actually anyway. Yeah. Okay, so I guess I will leave that in there for the moment, because that would just be helpful if the same issue. So in principle, then I could push that into staging, and then this is ready for deploy.
Right.
The test is still running. It's kind of ugly, but so I guess I'll let the CI run, and then I can add to my task list for tomorrow to deploy Agile bot code to master/production. And I guess I've got an additional thing on Agile bot itself. Agile, which is that I haven't got it mentioned already. Something about Gitter. Yeah, so new issue. Send to Gitter ignores room variable. Should remove to avoid confusion. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't know. That's it's the same thing. Syndicate. I guess I'll just take the actual code in there, which is this one. Yes.
So just to go back to the thing with Marion.
Yeah.
I see people were discussing the running median problem on somewhere, Stack Overflow or something.
Mm-hmm.
And people were saying, oh, the more interesting version is where you have literally a stream of data and there's so much of it.
Right, and you have only a limited last n things that you can store, and how you maintain that. Yeah.
Because the algorithm that we wrote basically,
Mm-hmm.
the algorithm that you wrote basically maintains a queue, and it's like linear space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it assumes you can store basically a linear.
Yeah, store indefinitely. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be interesting to link this into something about the data that we've got coming into website 1 or what have you, and I'd love to make it something we would use somewhere. But yes, that is kind of an interesting problem.
Right.
So anyway, so that Agile bot thing is taken care of. We end up with these 3 elements in the ready column that have kind of nominally been prioritized, although none of them feels very high priority. They all feel like nice to have rather than must have.
Right.
And I guess we could argue in a sort of sprint style thing is that we should throw them back onto the estimated column and do a kind of reprioritization exercise, almost, in that it feels to me like the projects index page redesign and the projects list order, that those are kind of more important, right? I think that time picker icon thing is kind of just it should be a simple thing that should just get fixed. You could say well, don't you think there's only one date on the show page, event page? It's kind of, this one is kind of I'm not even sure what the right thing is. This one is there's an obvious simple fix. New event button should be available for logged out users, but redirect to login.
You still haven't fixed the one date on show event page?
Well, I think it has, and it's sort of in there it was removed, so it is fixed. And then there was kind of I think I'm just going to Yeah. Yeah. I guess it's just like, I think it's partly like he was going to work on it and then like work out what was. I think it is. I think it is fixed. Let's just move it onto the. Let's close it. Done.
I feel like we removed it.
We did remove it.
Like,
yeah, and I was sort of saying it should be replaced with something, and I guess yeah, that ticket shouldn't be open. Yeah, it's an issue. We should bring it on.
replaced with what? Like adding another clearer thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, ironically, having removed it and based on conversations with like the negotiations that I go through with like trying to work out with the beta salsa people when the after a time change, when are we going to be having the whatever, right? The like actually having the UTC time in there to say to the, like, because this is great for me, and I can say to the people, oh, I'll send you this link, go and look at that, and you'll see what the time is in your time zone.
Yes.
But not everybody will click through on that link. Like if I'm sending out an email about the event. So actually here, if
people aren't going to look at the website, I'm not sure what changing the website's going to do.
No, it's not. What I'm retrospectively saying is actually having the UTC information in there so that I can give them that UTC information and I can know that I'm giving them something that's in an absolute time and they can in principle then translate for themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm always seeing the dynamically adapted version of mine, I'm always unsure of the relationship between this time and to UTC.
Well, you can Google it, but yeah.
Well, yes, but so I mean, it was the reason we removed the UTC was because of the problem that the date might be wrong.
Right.
But so yeah, I'm not arguing. We don't have to like put UTC back in there. I think in some ways, like if this
is it worth doing that?
No, I don't think it's worth like prioritizing putting UTC back in there. I think the thing is, what would be more helpful is, for example, if we get these countdowns like this for the other things. I think a countdown in here.
Because then also the other thing is like putting multiple dates and times in there could confuse people.
Yes, I agree. I think it's probably.
Oh, what is this UTC?
Yeah. Totally. It swings and roundabouts. So I think let's forget about it until it comes up again in the future. I think that there's an argument to say that we might want to display like other things in here, like a countdown timer, like occurs weekly at the specified times. Anyway, but we can sort of
like 1 day, 3 hours and 7 minutes. Or
whatever. Right. But so anyway, so we've got kind of like a reprioritization here of this.
And that would be running like in real time, like you would have a JavaScript.
Yeah.
A mini JavaScript app that would say.
Yeah, I mean, I've been using the Mentiv system, and they have that on all of their stuff. And I think that's obviously we do it for the kind of the scrums.
It'd be easy to do.
Relatively easy. Yeah, I mean, I could, if we just do website 1.
Basically, have your local time.
Yeah.
The local time that's guessed.
Yeah.
For the event.
Yeah.
And then you calculate the difference, right?
Right.
Convert that to some nice format like 1 day, 3 hours, 7 minutes. Display that and then sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure though. Running time.
Yeah. Oh, give me a second. I'll just go to this. Cool. The junk. Hello.
People. Right.
Junk pool. Sorry, go on. You're saying?
Oh, nothing. I think people just sleep for 500 ticks or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was just wondering that. Like, here's an example of something.
Yeah. Anyhow, I mean, I've added an issue for that. I mean, I think it's not high priority. I mean, for the things that we've got in the estimated column, I think these are we sort of moved the ready items in there. I'm kind of intrigued now about what Ashley is actually proposing that we do. I mean, she's telling us here that, like, if we're using vague and generic terms like people, then stop and get specific.
Yeah, I read that part. She just means breaking out.
Yeah, which is, having different of those things. Although,
Potential.
yeah, go on. I mean, potentially very useful to, like, what are the different needs of the different people. At the same time, like, in terms of moving people the funnel, I almost feel like that's bringing in more complexity than we need right now. Like, well, I mean, there's kind of, to the extent that we know the systems is about. I think a big homepage redesign is a separate.
I mean, there's the potential, right, when they sign up.
Yeah.
To ask them about themselves.
There is, although I think that's an interesting idea. Often, I mean, almost I feel like the key thing is to get them into Slack, really. But yeah,
probably. But I mean, in terms of scaling it for, like, if people would answer sensibly what their is, like, oh, I have I have very little background in coding. Maybe I did nice work or whatever. All the way up to, like, I'm a full-time developer and I skin yaks all the time.
Yes.
And then have different classes of experience.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, and to a certain extent, I mean, that was the free code camp. They had that, like, you're a developer, click this button and have this experience. Or are you a non-profit client, click this button and have this experience.
Right.
I mean, I get this. I guess I almost feel a bit of a loss at what. I don't want to spend time tweaking over. The point that Ashley made is that we don't particularly try and funnel people to say, oh, hey, and you should sign up. I mean, any more than we have, like, when you're in the, I guess I've got to log out of this one. Like, if we're logged out, then basically, if you're logged out, there's always a sign up button here.
Right, but there's no, like,
we don't have I mean, I guess what we do have here, I guess we don't even, like, say in here in the getting started, hey, you should sign up.
Right.
I mean, I think we do say is, like, get in the Slack channel.
I mean, in principle, we can track, someone's
got, like, when you go on.
I said, in principle, we can track if someone's in the same browser and they're a guest. Right.
Yeah, and we could be then pop it after they've interacted with the site a little bit and say,
some certain amount of times or whatever.
Yeah. Although I'm kind of more inclined to, not. I guess in the ideal world, what we would have is some kind of review of the funnel, which was telling us, like, okay, today, there were 100 people who browsed the site. So, like, funnel overview stats, and maybe we can get the what's it called, Google Analytics to tell us about this. But so, for example, on a given day, we had, e.g., 100 people browsed the site and were not logged in. And then we have, like, let's say it's 30 people were logged in, and then we've got things down to, like, 4 people started Hangouts. And we've got, like, let's say 12 people attended Hangouts.
Mm-hmm.
Or something of this order. And I guess what we would I mean, if the funnel was specifically trying to get people into Hangouts, then what we would want to be doing for each of these is finding some way is like, promote to sign up.
So the number of people that attended Hangouts today,
Mm-hmm.
people that started Hangouts today, and the people that logged in today,
Mm-hmm.
that's all possible with the data we have
Yeah.
to some degree.
Yes.
And then how many people browse the site and were not logged in?
Yeah.
That's
Well, we get that from Google Analytics. I mean, we
Yeah.
can probably also get it from our own logs.
but we don't know how many were not logged in, right?
I think so.
Do we?
Well, I think Google Analytics doesn't necessarily know, but I think we could. Whether we currently have precisely the data or we would need to do it, we could be getting it. I mean, I guess for all of these things, in terms of what's the effort that we would have in order to get it versus how useful it would be. My intuition says to me that if we look back at our notes here, is it feels like probably like I don't think we have a problem with getting people to sign up. I see the number of people signing up each day, and there is a trickle of 1 or 2 people signing up each day, but I'd say the majority of them don't become active, right? And so we could be kind of like working on this earlier part of the funnel to say, let's get more and more people to sign up. But I think in some ways, probably in the first instance, if we can get more of those people who sign up to know what they, to know how to get more involved, because that's sort of a fairly common refrain from people is like, I don't know what to do next. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we can just like be sending a message to the people who have signed up to say, hey, you should join Slack. You should join a Hangout. Here's a guide to how to get involved in a project. Then that feels like, that's gonna. I can see from our Slack stats that we have like 30 people who are like actively participating in Agile Ventures.
It makes sense, like, because before there was an Agile Ventures and there was just local support, right?
Right.
People basically joined the project basically literally by joining your room in Skype.
Right.
And then you were there and just talking to them. Right.
Yeah. Right.
So then I also remember people like, I think something like you told me, like at first I didn't want to fork the repo.
Uh-huh.
Because I said something like, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to work on it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure whether I wanted to commit anything. And you were like, oh, forking the repo doesn't mean you're committing to anything.
Right.
So I guess there's different questions that people might have about,
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly so this one actually here, if she's just creating a FAQ, that seems like something we can kind of actually merge in quite quickly there. The start of a FAQ for Agile Ventures, clear the need for a FAQ. Yeah, then I'll just merge that. Create a FAQ, move contributing to the top so it's obvious and easy to encourage edits. Yeah, okay. And so I will merge that in. And so that ends up being here. We have a FAQ. And it seems to me like there's a simple just thing on here. We've got joining a project, discussing things on Slack, PairProgramming, Scrums. Like some of these, we've got other, like we've got here, like joining projects, the link address, joining projects, see, joining project. Can I just, like from there, can I just do this? And it will just go to the same thing. I think it will. We're on the same level. There we go. I mean, I think what she's imagining is having specific things in there. just give it a start of something, but not to be completely dead. Oh, that's a link, isn't it? Okay. Oh,
あ、終わったか。
まだ終わってない。何？
終わった。
Okay, you need something? 何？
なんか、ずっとダディがフェイスの僕上に来たらなんかミーティングやってて、
ああ、
上に。
なんかやりたい？
まだも
どうぞ。これどうぞ。いいよ。Okay. I'll probably finish quite soon. Okay, so that's. I'm kind of feeling good that I was able to do that pull request, and then there's a blueprint for developing and running the strategy for Agile Ventures. So I think Ashley's kind of keen on the idea of if we can specify the high level, then it helps everybody understand how it all goes down. That's
Right.
I'm also kind of fearful of spending a lot of time developing a document like this that distracts from doing things. Although I guess that's arguably helpful to coordinate the high level stuff.
I think we also need to have a better sense of project on the page.
You mean on the you mean have on which page? You mean on the projects page?
Like Met Plus.
Yeah, what about them?
Like they're a fairly developed project, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, do people actually find? I guess the question is like,
Go on.
is Met Plus say? How are they onboarding people?
Well, people come into their channel,
Right. Right.
and I mean, I also like promote them as one of an active project that's good for as an entry level project.
So, but what is our site doing for them? Anything?
Oh, what is the Agile Ventures site doing for Met Plus as a whole? Well, it's providing this, little thing here, which pulls together some documents.
Right, I understand. Yeah,
the videos.
Is this actually
helping their project?
Helping them recruit people at all, or is it just?
Yeah, I don't know if it's helping them recruit people. They certainly seem to, like, for example, they know when they have like missing video links, they talk to us about it.
Right.
JP will say things like, we need to connect multiple GitHub things.
I mean, it looks like WoW is keeping like their documentation a little up to date, like updated 6 days ago about some details about the cruncher.
Yeah, I didn't see any 6 days ago. This is creative. Oh, but if you click through on it, you see he updated it recently. Yeah. So I think they are using it for organizing the project. I mean, Thomas was in AV Community Talk or wherever saying.
I think that's something that, like, say, like, right, Cruncher.
Yeah.
That Plus has like a kind of like a services architecture a little bit.
Yeah.
And, I feel like that kind of information can be useful. Like when I was finding more about local support years ago, I kind of read the documents and like followed more of the client meetings, I guess. Like the videos of the client meetings. But that can be time consuming.
Sure.
Like sitting down and watching a 45-minute client meeting, but that gives you like a really good sense of what the client's mindset is, and what their needs are. But I guess it depends. Like, what I'm saying is, if people, like, there's a thing of like recruiting people, right? And then there's a thing of like onboarding people, right? Like kind of you want like the most efficient way for different types of people to like wrap their head around what the hell your system does, right?
Yes.
So that they're not just kind of like flailing and like
Yeah.
it's just
Totally.
like look at the code and like you know
Right.
like kind of the why, you know, like why is
Sure.
it organized this way? Why are these terms here?
Yes.
Like why is it done this? Like the code can tell you a little bit about how, but it can't tell you as much about why.
Sure.
So
no, totally. Yeah, go on.
and I'm just wondering like how do people do that? I mean, like the only way they do that, right, is they just come into the channel and talk to people. Basically.
I mean, I think I have naively been promoting them doing that because that's what I would do. Probably
Right.
Historically underestimating how difficult people actually find that, because it's like most people are much shyer and more introverted than me. And yes, I mean, I think there's like I think for a project.
Well, I mean, okay, so if there's a short video or documentation about how something works, right?
Yeah.
That can work, but it has to stay up to date, right? And then the person has to be willing to read it, right?
Yeah, or watch it or look at it or whatever. Yeah.
And often it's just easier to get into a real-time chat with someone and like because you can actually ask questions, right? You can be like, oh, like I already kind of understand that, but this is what is confusing me.
Sure.
Right, you can just ask the person that knows like direct questions.
Yeah.
But that's time consuming, right?
Yeah, and embarrassing, and a lot of people they don't want to be bothering people.
And it's also time consuming for the person running the project.
Yeah, totally.
So I guess is there any actual like can we do anything about that, and do we care?
Yes and yes. I mean, I guess the interesting thing here, I mean, I was just
Or maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree.
Well, no, I think that my intuition recently, for some reason, like there was a video edited and it's now disappeared. That's weird. Can I edit that? Can I see the HTML for that? No, it's like there's a div class video. It's gone. That's annoying. Yeah, I mean, I get the sense that there are things that we can do to help people getting involved in the projects.
Right.
And so, part of it is having a consistent.
I mean, there's certain things we can do, right, that we've already discussed, like putting projects that have like actual activity towards the top.
Yeah.
So that people can find them easier.
Yeah.
I mean, like one thing.
Go on.
But then there's also the question of like how to help projects market themselves to people, right?
Sure.
And how to help projects onboard people. So supposing that we have a project, with someone who's kind of committed, right? Like Zhao.
Yeah.
Going to put time into it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do we help that person market themselves on the site?
Yeah.
And help them onboard people better.
Yeah. Well, I think, given that we have a stream of people coming through, then, a lot of the help that we give to the Drow or any other project is by like I'm doing this for Redeemify and SHF project, is when people are kind of coming in through that stage in the funnel is
like you're manually doing that, right?
Right. I'm not saying I should be doing it manually. What I'm saying is that there are people moving through this funnel, right? And so part of the way that we help projects is by at certain points in that funnel highlighting those projects to them, whether that's manually or we do that in some automated fashion. And I think there's also having kind of a sort of a blueprint for they're not as clearly articulated as I would like them to be. But part of the idea with this joining a project document and then it's like saying, here's how this works, or the blog post. I mean, I've got in my head like a very clear idea of the way in which to run a project, and for any given person, like what they should be doing right now to move forward. And if anybody asks me, I can immediately tell them what to get started on next.
I'm listed as the contact for project scope.
It's you and me.
Oh. Okay.
And the parentheses are kind of, feel free to edit and change that if you prefer me to be the like nominal. What have you.
Okay.
Yes. But so part of what I'm trying to do is just like with doing the blogging and everything is just get all of those ideas out there and like that move towards a situation where the pattern in my head is something that other people can kind of see and follow the pattern if they want.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you're sort of brainstorming like how can we give all of those people more help. I think it's still the same thing that we talked about on Friday, and
the thing is getting them to join Slack, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the question that we need to answer,
yes,
is how many people, say in the last month we had 100 signups, right?
Right.
All those people were invited to Slack, theoretically.
In principle.
How many of those people actually signed into Slack?
Yeah, it's a relatively small percentage, but yes, there's some. Yes, I mean, I guess in some ways that's the sort of key thing is that in terms of making some modifications.
If our whole thing, right, is that if our whole thing is basically like the key thing is that people talk to us in Slack, then we need to actually get people in Slack, right?
We do. I also know we're kind of talking over each other a lot. I'm sure I'm a guilty culprit for that. Yeah, I'm finding that a little difficult right now.
Oh, sorry.
That's right. I mean, I think you're also, kind of on a mental roll. But yeah, the thing I was just going to say there was, I guess that, and this is a point that Pavel made a long time ago, is about measuring. So I guess, I mean, we want people to like go from, whether it's sign up, there's like the people who, is like incoming people. I think we want them to come, enter Slack. We would like them to enter Hangouts, and we would like them to sign up to Premium. It's kind of, and we're sort of thinking that these are increasing the stickiness. So I guess what we kind of, I mean, I can immediately, like for the Slack thing, I mean, it almost seems to me like a no-brainer. The problem at the moment is that there's nothing, all of the suggestions about going to Slack in the main site are kind of, you have to read a lot or whatever. It's not, your entryway into Slack is not scaffolded very well. So it almost seems like a no-brainer that, like, if we were one of these other things, they kind of have, like, if we look at the Ruby on Rails Slack channel, but like Slack, like, let's see if I can find one of these things here. Like they have, that's not what I want, but they have a very specific. Oh, here you go. Yeah, like this. They have a very specific. You join now. You click this. You get a Ruby on Rails Slack invite, right? And so if you don't get the Slack invite, it's kind of like, okay. I mean, actually, this one you have to fill in a form first before you go through it. But so it almost seems like a no-brainer to me that, that we should have in our system, you know, for the, if we're in the, you know, the sign up, that like it kind of, we almost need to have it more explicit that it's like, yes, you're getting a Slack instance. All of the projects need to say, this is our Slack channel that we're on, and so on and so forth. I guess the argument from Pavel would be, we need to measure these things. So like at the moment, say that we get 1,000 people incoming, you know, and then so we've got signups equals, what is it, like 100, and then entering Slack is equal to 20, and then enter Hangouts is 10, and then sign up to Premium and we might get 2 or whatever. That if we're going to make some change, what we want to do is be looking at a given month, looking at these ratios, and then if there's some particular change that we make, we need to be following from the point that it rolled out, looking at it the following month and saying, okay, have we now, like, so in the next month.
Right. I mean, the thing with the ratios is that you basically, because the ratios multiply out, right?
Right.
They carry through. You want to look at the things where you're losing the most percentage.
Well, yes and no. I think there's also a question of, you know, you kind of want,
assuming that the next level can actually keep up with that increased load, you know.
Right. Well, and also that, you know, the kinds of people that you want coming in, because you actually want, you know, in some ways for us, like, you could almost argue that it's better to focus on there's a natural filtering process here, that the 20 people who actually got into Slack are the more interested and more committed ones. And so actually it may be more prudent to start by focusing on converting these people to here than it is to convert, you know, like all of these people into signups. But anyway, but the point still stands. I think that's probably we would, I don't know, I guess I'm feeling a slight intuition here to say that you know, we should be measuring the effects of changes that we're making to see if they're having impacts, because otherwise, I don't know, it's or should we just follow our intuition and, you know, and then we sort of see if it works or not, because we have just a feeling of like the Slack community got busier or what have you.
Well, what do you want to do?
Well, I think probably what I want to do right now is, and we sort of run out of time for today, is I want to add a tickets here onto the backlog to say that correspond to what we were talking about here, which is like once they sign up. Like at the moment, it just feels wonky that at the moment after sign up, the main thing that we're encouraging them to do is to fill out their profile. When I think we can carry on doing that or not, but what we should really do is we should encourage them to join Slack and participate, and we should sort of direct them to documentation that shows them how they can, you know, participate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I think other things about when you join Slack, you know, if we had a bot that greeted people and so on, that those would be kind of valuable, and we should get. But so what I'm tempted to do is add some tickets to website one for that, and possibly start voting on them. You know, I'm not going to do any voting now because I'm like, oh. But so this would be like promote Slack Hangout participation for people who have signed up. This is like this Slacks and this Hangouts, and I kind of feel like I'd almost rather let's just focus on the Slack participation, because, you know, once you get the people in Slack, you've kind of got, yeah, it's just, I think so. So could the existing fill out your profile prompt, also make suggestions for getting involved in Slack and other participation. I mean, it feels like also there was something to get directly. I guess almost though the bigger thing in some ways is, you know, the we've got such limited resources for doing the development of these things. Maybe what we just have to really focus on is crunching down the admin tasks that are taking up a lot of my time.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how we would do that.
Well, one thing would be having an automatic greeter bot on the thing, because I spend a little bit of my time each day greeting people and responding to things. And I think that and it's almost like it's outside of the website one thing, and it's actually here. You know, the place for this would be to have, what would it be? Have a greeter bot on Slack instance. So Code Buddies have one of these, just an automated welcome PM on their Slack instance. That tells people about the community and how to get involved. I mean, their one was, I thought the text was actually a bit long.
Right. So
go on.
The other thing though is the PR review, right?
Yes.
Because it feels like you're spending, I would guesstimate, an hour and a half to 2 hours a day longer. Because it seemed there was a while where we started pairing at 8, right?
Right.
Until like noon my time, like 4 hours, half a day.
Yes.
Now it seems like you're kind of taken up with whatever until closer to 10.
Yes, and it's not necessarily PRs. It's a combination of different things.
Yeah, it seems like your administrative tasks have increased.
Yeah.
An hour and a half to 2 hours a day more.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I probably need to do is I need to be profiling what I'm working on, and doing this ruthless eliminate, simplify, delegate, automate thing, and just doing it over and over again. Yeah. Yes.
So in principle, the Slack bot that prompts people probably wouldn't be that hard. I mean, it might even be.
No, and indeed, I almost wonder if there's like just a setting that we can do
right in Slack or something.
The Adventure Slack that's that just is like, you know, send this message when people arrive. You know what I mean?
Right. I think there is, because didn't I get with the Dree Slack? Maybe I got a message.
Like,
so with Dree, when I signed in, I got a message from something called Meekin.
Did you?
Yes. It says, "Hi, Michael. I'm the Meekin robot, your team's scheduling assistant. It's nice to be here at Dree. To really do a good job, I need your permission to access your calendar, blah, blah, blah." So it gives like information, and it like greets you when you first show up.
Right. You got that on Dree? I don't know that I got that on Dree.
I got it. I don't, but you did or whatever.
So look, well, there's like Slackbot. I mean, I got like, "Hello, I'm Slackbot. I'll try to be helpful." What have you? I think I was kind of added in a different mechanism than you, maybe. I mean, I feel like the Slackbot itself you can configure Slackbot to respond to your team members. myslack.com customize Slackbot.
Create a Slack bot that privately creates new users in 5 easy steps on medium.com.
Because I think if you join the thing, like the Slackbot will automatically talk to the. Here we go. All right. So finally, I've seen these. Oh god, this is.
There's like a thing, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the thing that like Sampritty and who was that?
Oh,
That's
wait. Idiot. What? Go on.
well, look. So I've found here. Look, this is like when everybody says bagel, coffee, and tea break. Here, Slackbot responds with this like a series of different things.
Right. Here's a link. It almost feels like Slack should just have this built in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, here's a link. Unfortunately, it involves. Let me send it to you anyway.
Yeah.
Deploying to Heroku using a certain link. There's like a built-in app on the
Yeah.
dashboard.
This is the mechanism that I used to create the async voter bot.
Right. Greeting, but they have a link there to the greeting Slack.
Do they?
Yes. If you look at it, there, on step 4,
Okay.
there's a
Oh, we use this
they
thing of the greeting Slack app.
which pulls off some dude's
Oh,
GitHub.
okay. Right. But that's like their. Yeah, I mean that's like quickly deploy.
Right, but he's giving you a link to just one-click it.
Oh yeah, to put it up on the own. Sure.
To go through Heroku,
Yeah.
and there's a form to say what you want the message to be.
Right. Oh, if you once you've done it on
Click
Heroku.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just click
Okay.
on-
Sure.
So that's a really simple
Yep.
one-step process that you could load up a
Yeah.
bot.
We can have a bot. No, that's very cool. Yeah, I'm just seeing if we've got something in the. I guess this is our customizer team, and like so Slackbot by itself though. This is because I guess Slackbot is designed to like it will like when you enter a new team environment, Slackbot will kind of say, "Do you need some help?" or what have you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they've got like a tutorial thing, and yeah, I was just thinking if but I guess the Slackbot things that we have here are just this and nothing else. So
There doesn't seem to be like a hook for it greeting people.
no, and so
Really is dumb, but
yeah,
it feels like Slackbot should greet people.
yeah. Yeah, so in that case, it feels like we should do that 5 easy steps, isn't it? Slack, create new people bot. See if there's any other alternatives. Bot users, personal assistant, and help bot. I mean, I think there are also. Actually, what's this one? This is about. Yeah, this is the range of things that Slackbot will do, and the answer is not very much. Okay, it's that I know where those things are coming on. I'll get too sick of them. I turn them off. Okay, so creating the Slackbot in 5 easy steps. Sign into your Slack team, and follow the instructions to create a new bot user. Services new bot. And so bots. I think we can add a configuration here. Can we only have one bot now? So I think we can only have the async voter bot. Maybe. Configurations, connect to Slack. Because I've gone through and done all this API token.
Can you add a configuration?
When I click on it, it comes
Yes,
to
you
this
would-
page,
Yeah.
and it looks like, I guess our current plan only allows us to have one bot.
Right.
I mean, I guess what I'm tempted to do, I mean, I guess if I make a bot following this thing, it will kind of block me from using the async voter bot.
Correct.
I mean, I guess the interesting question in some ways is to look at this thing here of like actually his like where is his link is going to, it's a greeting Slack on GitHub. I guess I mean, I could have the async voter bot. There we go. He's got like a greeting Slack, auto Slack greeter joins. What is he? He's written in Python and bot pi. So okay, so he's just is detecting team join events,
Mm-hmm.
and then okay, yeah. So I mean, this bot is no more or less sophisticated than the bot that I created for async bot.
Correct.
So team joins. So then the question there is, I think we've got, so this is the bot kit that I'm using, and can we issue team join events, channel join event not working, team join, use the team join event. Okay, there we go. Okay, right. And so presumably we could, that like this is it. This is the thing. Like if we had,
Right. I had that.
like in here, if this was like team joined, that would now be our bot welcoming people.
Right.
And so I guess the thing here would be,
To just leave your computer running all day.
well, I was thinking, can I just, I kind of want async voter to be like running. And so I guess I could both either try to deploy, I mean, Dreep, I don't know, is like whether I deploy it to, I mean, I've got no free hours left at all on
Heroku.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that the I think I need to finish up now for today, but it feels to me like so it seems like we can do that with following code.
Using the
the
bot framework, using what?
Yeah, so it's the howdy doody something or other. What's it called? It's called the bot kit, Howdy AI bot kit.
Okay.
But I was gonna link here too. It's the async. I mean, it almost makes it feel like the kind of annoying a single bot. No. Let's do async. It's the async bot there added to there. Perhaps we should get this bot deployed to, I guess it's like Heroku tree, or I was almost thinking like maybe just the thing to do is to deploy it to AWS. Anyway.
How much will that cost?
Say again?
I was just wondering how much that would cost.
Well, I think ultimately that's what
Right.
Tree and Heroku are doing, and they're just deploying it to AWS. And so, rather than $7 a month, we could get it lower. But yeah, it's probably silly to try and do that. We should go with one of these guys first, even if it's just creating a separate Heroku account with a different email address to get a separate dyno. Well, hopefully that's a pain, isn't it? I stick it in wherever. But yeah, I guess there's a thing there of ending up. It's kind of spiky at the moment, and it sort of. Anyway, yeah.
I mean, you could deploy. We could deploy it on my account, I guess. I think.
Sure. No, I think that's fine. I think that the key thing for me is I kind of need to profile my time on admin tasks to eliminate what is it? Eliminates simplify, delegate. I mean, a lot of things like the blogging is taking up a lot of time. Delegate, automate. Okay, cool. All right, I better go. Maybe see you tomorrow.
All right. Bye.
Bye for now.
Yeah, I mean, we can deploy it maybe tomorrow on my Heroku if you want.
Sure, or we can deploy it on the Agile Ventures one, and then we'll both have access to it. I mean, I think. Yeah, you're on there. Yeah, it's. Feel free to pull out. Feel free to pull out the bot and play with it and whatever. And
oh, it's up there. Okay.
Yeah, it's all there for the voting thing.
All right.
Cool. All right. Bye for now.